Can we work on that?
Yeah.
Hey, what's up? We're live.
What's going on, everyone?
What's up, brother?
We're back.
Yes.
Another beautiful day.
Back for another episode of Wedding Business Growth.
I'm excited to be here, man.
Can you believe, when I was putting the graphics together today, can you believe this is already our 38th episode?
No, I can't.
That's pretty awesome.
We've been doing it for a while.
We have.
It's exciting. It's fun.
A show born out of the pandemic.
Very true.
Right?
Hence the green color. No, I'm just kidding.
Is that why you picked green?
The virus. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, come on. Come on.
I'm just playing around.
You're too funny, dude. How's your week been, brother?
Oh, it's been good, man. Blessed. For sure. What about you?
So, we're in this point now where we used to know what each other was doing all the time. Yeah. And now it's like we've just, we're
good.
we're getting busy and like hitting each other up. Like, yo, you good, bro? What time am I going to see you today? It's actually got me a little sad. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. But
I miss the many, many hours that we spend goofing off and actually doing some productive stuff together.
Yeah.
But
we're busy.
It's because we're busy, and it's because this industry and our businesses are try that again, because this industry is starting to pick back up, and luckily things are coming together,
and they're looking up.
Yeah,
which is really exciting. So
I'm equally excited, not just equally excited to be working, but I'm also excited for a lot of the couples out there who've been struggling. I've done. This last weekend, I did a couple of weddings for some couples, both of them actually. One of them was like the fourth date of their wedding that they moved.
Oh, gosh.
And the other one was like their third date that they moved. And so you can imagine the struggle and the stress that they go through.
Yeah.
For us, it's kind of like, oh, yeah, whatever. Just move it down to the calendar, whatever. We're not working that way. Sure, that's great. But like for them, that's a huge stress. Like imagine like you get invitations, you get some of these things that are not,
invitations are
going to be able, you're not going to be able to use them now, right? Like you can't go to the invitation company and be like, hey, we need you to reprint them because we're moving to a new date. Yeah. It was funny. The one event that I did, that those big foam glow stick things.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they got some of those and they got them personalized, and they were thinking, oh my gosh, did we have the original date on them? But they actually found out that they just put their names on them.
That's good. Yeah, it's hard, and it's such a personal date.
Yeah,
those dates might mean something to that couple, or they have some significance, and just moving it around all the time, it's stressful. But yeah, it's hard. But I'm glad we're getting back into it.
Well, let's welcome real quickly. We just want to welcome all of our viewers today. Thank you all for joining us. Feel free to drop in the comments who is watching and where you're checking in from. We love to give you all shout outs. Hopefully I think we're going to have some viewers that maybe have not seen the show before, even just because of our guests that we have tonight. So there could be some new viewers and we've also working hard. Myself and Frank have been working hard on Clubhouse to kind of spread the news and spread the word about the show, about Wedding Business Growth. And so there could be some new people watching. We'd love to know who you are and where you're checking in from. So feel free to do that in the comments.
Definitely.
And as always, if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please be sure to do that. It helps us a lot, helps us continue to spread the word. And speaking of Frank, our co-host, why don't we bring him in, see what he's up to? Frank, what's up, buddy?
Hey, Frank.
What's up? How's it going?
Hey, man. Good to see you again.
Good to see y'all, too.
Yeah.
See Luke.
There's our boy Luke checking in, as always. We always love him being either on the show, or he's always either on the show or supporting the show. So we're very fortunate to have that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Frank, update us on the move, man. What's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So it looks like I'll be occupying the residency or the residence prior to the date that I close. So next Friday, it sounds like we'll start moving stuff over. Big stuff will get moved on Saturday, and then I'll be in the new crib.
That's
Love
exciting, man.
Love it. Are you going to do an episode of Cribs for us? Like once you get it all set up, let's go MTV old school and do an episode of Frank's Crib.
Bro, I love it, but I feel like I need to have some spinners to be able to pull that off.
Yeah, you got to have some bling hanging off the wall or something like that.
Just one giant chain.
Yeah, a poster of pick any NBA player and have it on your wall. Like, who does that? Like, why would? Oh yeah, that's right. Forgot about that. Henry, what's up, man? Thank you for checking in, brother. Thank you, Henry.
Appreciate it, bro.
So Frank, other than that, man, just a lot of stuff going on. You guys are starting to open up a little bit up there, right?
Yeah, a little bit. So Thursday it goes to 50 indoor and 100 outdoor, and I'm pretty excited about it. And got it in now with the Secretary of Commerce. So hopefully I'll be able to start finessing some stuff and kind of maybe bringing things along a little bit faster than what they've been so far. But our governor's doing it on a monthly basis. Like, he will not do anything in the middle of a month. So we won't hear from him again until the end of April for what's going to change in May.
Interesting.
That's wild.
Yeah, it is. And I'm actually nervous because with the CDC stuff and the way our governor is, like, I don't know if that'll lead to good or bad.
Well, all we can really do is hope for the best. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And do what you can do, man.
And the good thing is you're staying active. You're staying.
You're doing it. That's really awesome.
Yeah, and you're staying top of mind by all the efforts that you're putting out there. So I think that's the most that we can ask for anybody to do is just keep a good positive attitude, stay top of mind, make sure you're reaching out to the other vendors in your community and people that you would normally be working with, and just check on them. Like, it's amazing sometimes when somebody just shoots you a quick text and just says, "Hey, haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing good." Well. Yeah. You know what I mean? You're not asking for anything. You're not trying to create this long, drawn out conversation. It's just a moment of just saying, "Hey, I'm thinking about you."
It means a lot. I actually had that with someone in the industry recently. I was like, "Hey, when this is all said and done, we should definitely grab coffee sometime. I miss you." And they're like, "Oh, that's so sweet." Like, yeah, we definitely should. So those little things just go a long way.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah,
they really do. I've been staying in touch with a lot of the venues and my frienders in the area, but I've also been trying to reach out to. I think I've been working harder to reach out to people I don't know than to the people I do know. Or whether maybe I've worked with them a couple times, but I don't know them as well as the other. I've been trying to stay in touch with as many people as I can, just to say, like, "Hey, I'm here. You need me.
Yeah.
Think about me in the future." Right, like, just kind of keeping everybody in the same mindset. So
it's awesome. Yeah,
it's
perfect. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's the best thing you can do. We just once again want to thank everybody for watching, whether you're watching on YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook, wherever you're watching us from. Thank you so much. Henry and Luke, thank you for checking in. Anybody else that's watching, please feel free to drop a comment. Let us know who you are, where you are, why you are. If you had a win this week, something exciting that happened, let us know. You know what I mean?
We love to share the success for sure. So if you got something good that's going on in your life,
let's see.
Drop it out.
Luke says they keep scaring us with new variant, which is another new variant and another.
Oh, yeah, with the virus. Yeah.
DJ Khaled.
Another one.
All good.
Another one.
Too funny. Chris Disk, thank you. He's always here supporting us. Sorry I'm late. Busy week preparing for April 11th. First gig of the year. All right.
Congratulations. Exciting. Let's celebrate that for sure.
Yeah.
I believe he's up in New York.
New York. Yep.
So I'm really glad to hear that, brother, for sure.
Yeah. April 11th happens to be my daughter's birthday too.
Oh,
so
well, happy birthday to her.
Yep. So there's it's both of them.
Oh, really?
Destiny and Faith, both their birthdays are April 11th. Yep. Very cool, right?
Very cool.
How do you make that work?
Awesome.
They're 2 years apart, exact same day. How do you make that work? I don't know. Anyways. All right. Oh, look at there. Same with his sister. Look at there.
Also wild.
It's a small world we live in.
Yeah.
Everybody's got birthdays. Well, you know what? Hold on. 2 weddings, April 10th, 1. Damn. Love it.
That's awesome. Makes me I'm excited, man.
Yeah.
I'm getting excited that people are getting back to work.
Yeah,
and,
like who,
especially up north.
Who would have thought that we'd be sitting here celebrating people working? But it's cool though. It's a good thing.
It's been so long. It's been so freaking long.
It's such a good thing.
Yeah. I'm happy.
And I'll tell you, the folks that have been watching the show and the people that have been kind of in our circle of Clubhouse, it has just been an exciting, uplifting. Like half the time I don't even think about any negative stuff going on, you know what I mean, because I'm surrounded by so much positivity. Definitely. That it's super cool. Oh yeah, that's right. So here's another fun fact that we found out last week.
Yeah.
Luke and Frank celebrate a birthday together April 1st, so 2 days from now.
That's awesome.
I kind of wish that hey, Frank, come over to California to talk to our governor. Henry says.
Right.
Hey, I'm down.
Yeah, I kind of wish our show was on Thursday so we could have a birthday celebration. But Frank, we'll do that for you, even though it won't be live.
Well, fun fact about that, my birthday actually falls on a show. April 27th is a Tuesday.
Good. Then we would have to make sure that we do something really fun on that day. Like, who knows? But we'll come up with something super fun.
Butter jelly.
Oh, we could go to the peanut butter and jelly shots. That's not a bad idea. Probably not a good idea either, but it's somewhere in between a good idea and a bad idea. But I'm not sure which one it is. All right. Speaking of drinks, I feel like we keep forgetting to do our celebratory toast these days. And while we get prepared for our toast, if you have a soda or a beer or a
some kind of beverage.
Non-alcoholic drink, and let's try to make sure neither one of us dump it on the table tonight, because we're both have been guilty about doing that. But if you have one, raise it up, and just here's a cheers to everybody working really hard out there to get back to working and just doing really cool stuff.
Appreciate it, man. So let's jump into it, man.
Let's do that. All right. So a lot of times we on our show, we have folks that come on and talk about really business related, very specific business related type things to help you build your business up. And that has been one of the premises of this show. And if you're watching the show and you've never watched the show before, just to dive into that, just a smidgen, Nick and I came together and said, hey, we want to create a show that's built on the pillar of community and education. Two simple pillars, community and education. Mm-hmm. And so if you've never watched the show, one of the things that we really strive to do is bring guests on the show that work within this industry. Number one, either they work directly in the industry or they work directly with people in the industry, and specialize in an area that could be marketing, it could be advertising, it could be Pinterest, it could be building a team, it could be financial, it could be a lot of the different aspects that it comes to running your business. And then one of the things that we always have to keep in mind that, and I say this a lot, that the most important piece of equipment that you're ever going to have is your head and your heart. Those two pieces of equipment, as weird as that sounds to me, those are the two most important pieces of the puzzle. And if you don't have your head and heart straight, then really the rest of it really just doesn't matter. So it's kind of important that we take time to focus on ourselves and focus on how we can make ourselves stronger, better, and ready to just take on the world, because we hope we never have to face COVID again. But hey, at the end of the day,
who knows?
If we had to face something like this again, I'd like to believe that collectively we've all grown through this process and are better prepared if we ever had to do with that again, right?
Sure.
So we started talking, and we thought, who better to bring on the show with us than our favorite friend that we've met through Clubhouse, and she has just become an absolute ray of sunshine every day. Like anytime you feel like you're not ready to take on the world, all you have to do is just listen to Bobbi for literally 10 seconds, and you're like motivated. And you're like, wait a minute, what am I talking about here? Like I can take on the world just by listening to those 10 seconds of her. So I'm going to read Bobbi's bio real quick, and we're going to bring her on to join us right after that. So her name is Bobbi Brinkman, motivational speaker, event MC, moderator, wedding industry coach, and educator. She's also a storytelling destination wedding photographer. I love that storytelling. I do love that. And a diet Mountain Dew addict. So while we're Dr. Pepper addicts, Bobbi is a diet Mountain Dew addict. I love that too. She speaks to help wedding pros to believe in the CEO mindset, choose abundance over fear, build perseverance, and embrace what makes them FABBO, unique, special, and remarkable. Whether it's behind the camera or in front of the audience, she is a storyteller at heart. She's been in the industry for 40 years, although you never know it because she's fit as a fiddle and always on point and always there. Wedding industry expert. Still wakes up every morning with a passion for capturing every FABBO couple's love story and the privilege to be able to do so. So without further ado, please help us welcome our favorite friend, Bobbi Brinkman. Bobbi, there you are.
Hello.
How are you,
Honored to
friend?
be here, y'all. Honored to be here, yes.
Thanks for being on.
I love that Henry's chiming in on an undisclosed location that he's supposed to be doing something at, right?
Chris Diss says he loves Mountain Dew.
DJ. Yes. Voltage, of course. Yes.
Yeah. Perfect. So there it goes. Well, Bobbi, I would almost want to say, what have you been up to? But I feel like our lives are so intertwined throughout almost every day that I kind of know what you're up to. But for those not knowing what you're up to, what's going on in Bobbi's world lately?
Well, we're in between weddings this week. We are busy here. I have a photo shoot every single night, but tonight. And Mondays and Tuesdays are my Clubhouse days. So today I spent it for, I think about 4 hours for Wedding Pros Club. And, we did a really fun room. You guys all popped in there. just a pop-up room because, you know, one of our educators was a little under the weather, but, you know, we keep going at the Wedding Pros, right? Because I think people put this on the schedule, and we have to be legit. If we're going to tell people through education that we have to show up, we have to show up, right? And, you know, even though we never want anybody to be sick or feel ill, the show has to go on. And, you know, Henry's built this club, and we're all able to come in here. And he gives us the space for us then to share our space and everything that we need to do, right? So I did a couple rooms there, started off with the abundance room this morning, filling in a little bit. And then, you know, we just continue on, you know, and yes, I need to wear the same outfit. You don't recognize me. I know. That's the funny ongoing joke when we start going to conferences is nobody recognizes anybody. But, you know, it's a, you know, photo shoot last night. I have 2 big weddings this weekend. I do only family photos that I do are for legacy clients. So we have one coming in on Wednesday and Thursday for that. They come down and visit on the island here in St. Simon's Island, Georgia. So they come down for spring break. So I'm very blessed to see my wedding clients. Usually every 1 to 3 years, they come through on their way to Disney or Orlando or anything like that. They'll stop on the island, get a family photo on the beach, and move on. So I'm very happy that I get to see those guys again. But yeah, we kick in and the speaking is back up. Events are happening. Live events are happening. So my speaking calendar is getting full. Always love coming to conferences and things like that. So, you know, the world's opening up, and we in the live event industry is moving up. And like I said, Frank and you know, Luke are doing such amazing work in their respective areas, keeping everything happening and keeping everything opening and keeping us safe. And I love getting to watch that side, the accidental activist that you guys have become to get us out there moving. None of us would have thought that we would be have to be standing up for the right to work, right? I mean, I don't think any of us, the wedding industry is supposed to be recession proof, right? You can always get married, you know, and now we realize how much we are needed, but on the sad side, how much we aren't needed, right? So it's up to us to get back to work and show couples we're ready to go and we're ready to be out there working safely. And that's the inspiration, is meeting all of you guys here on Clubhouse and watching the love and the passion that you have for this industry, and the fact that you guys want to continue educating and teaching. And, you know, like Henry always says, none of us have met, but I would know for a fact, I get to know what you do, Frank. I get to know what David does. I'm getting to know a little bit about Nick, but I know if I'm in a clubhouse room and I have to reach out for somebody, you're my go-to guys. And it's like everybody says, oh, you guys must work together a lot. That's just because we all have the shared passion, that servant's heart. And again, Henry starts a club. We're able to go in there. Ashley starts a club. We're able to go in there, and we're able to share our passion. And along the way, help people and motivate and educate and celebrate. And that's the joy of what we get to do now until we get back to doing weddings. So, I think it's a great segue or evolve, because we don't use the word pivot, right? So I'm glad we evolved into this. I think it's the perfect timing for many of us to get onto Clubhouse before we get busy, because I think it's really getting us lifted up and powered up and ready to go. And I think it's also a place that we can come back after that wedding on Monday or Tuesday in a Clubhouse room and go, oh my gosh, Luke, I can't believe I had to find, you know, nobody had mask on, or this is what I do. Luke's been sharing how the things that they put in place. You know, Frank talks about how they're doing. David, you were building a whole new system when we were talking on the phone one day last week. Mm-hmm. So we get to come on the show and not so much vent about, oh my gosh, I'm tired, but all the work I've been putting in, I'm now seeing it happen, and I'm going to have to still go and do things a little bit differently. Weddings are looking differently, but we are going to adapt. We adapt to every trend that comes along all the time. We adapt to every new client. Every time we have a new client, there's something different. The point A is to go down and say I do, then they'll get on to the party, right? It just looks a little different these days. So I'm excited for that. I'm absolutely thrilled that Clubhouse has brought us all together, that we can share in the celebrations that we have, but more importantly, that it's a safe space that we can all talk about our struggles. And at Wedding Pros Club and the Wedding Pros Guide to Abundance, I can sit in this chair safe as all get out. You know, my heart is the most inclusive and safe space. The 2 clubs that are most inclusive and safe, and we're going to keep it that way. Everybody is welcome in these clubs. Everybody has a voice. We may not always agree with the voice, but we're also not going to let others come in and tear it down and scare us off. We're going to continue to teach. We're going to continue to motivate. We're going to continue to celebrate. And I'm grateful that Clubhouse has done that. And I'm so proud of you guys. I mean, I would have, no offense, I don't sit on YouTube. I'm that, almost 60. I'm not on YouTube. But now that I'm here, every time I can, I try to jump in and see you guys, except usually I have a session on Tuesdays. But what you guys are doing and how you're taking your business to the next level, and you didn't let that stop during COVID, and the things that you're doing DJ-wise, and the fact that you're sharing wedding business growth. You don't have to do that. You can just be DJs. But look what you're doing. You can DJ and a videographer. Look what you're doing. You're sharing how others can learn. You're bringing people on that might have something to say, or that something might just be a nugget of, oh my gosh, I'm not alone. So it's always kudos to individuals like you that step up to the plate, take the swing, or in your case, you see at basketball right there, you get to the 3-4 line and you shoot it, and you go in and you score. Swoosh or not, all net. That's what podcasts like this, and that's what you're extensively doing as an extension on Clubhouse, and I'm thrilled to be here with you.
I'm ready to run through a wall right now.
I know.
There you go.
I'm about to take this poster down to Michael Jordan and put a poster of Bobby back there.
Yeah. Seriously,
oh,
Frank,
heck yeah. But that has to be a hockey.
I'm literally ready to run through a wall right now.
That's how I feel.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, Bobby, I mean, you made so many great points there. I don't even know where to begin to start. Blessings all around, honestly, for everything that you're doing as well. And Clubhouse, like you said, it is absolutely such a safe space, and I feel so comfortable going in there. I don't have to worry about anything. I can be myself completely.
Yep.
David be himself completely. I love it. And something that I'm really huge on is authenticity. And I think that's a great jump off point into maybe we can talk a little bit about the value of authenticity and being yourself completely and feeling comfortable with yourself.
You give me goosebumps with that one.
Well, exactly. Because think about it. You're what sets yourself apart. We all worry about what's happening on the 9 squares. You don't know what's happening behind those 9 squares. We don't know what's happening on the other side of YouTube. You could, the guys in your room right now could have a tragedy happening. We don't know that maybe your cat has died or your dog just had surgery. But we're looking tonight, we're celebrating, we're talking, right? But when you show up and you're yourself and you're not trying to be like those 9 squares, you're not trying to be what somebody's doing on YouTube, and you're just yourself. You're the best asset. You're the secret sauce. You are what will always, today, yesterday, tomorrow, in the future, and forever, set your business apart. You have to be authentic. I know it's a buzzword in our industry, like passion's a buzzword. But if you're not passionate and authentic, what is it that you really bring to the table? Because those are the things that you come with, your integrity and your character, right? And your trust. These are what things couples invest in. They can see through some fake stuff. They can see, okay, you're always doing weddings. You never take a day off on Instagram. Well, then no wonder you get called at 2 and 3 in the morning, because they think, well, that's the only time I can call you, because based on Instagram, you're freaking doing wedding 24 hours a day. So you take off a day on Instagram, and then they call and go, are you okay? Have you passed away? So it's people are getting so invested in what they see on social media. And I want to show up in a room, and I want to show up in a conference, and I want people to know, yeah, that's Bobbi. Pure as crap. That's Bobbi. She's going to, drop a misname here, and she's going to get tongue-tied with her stuttering. I have a speech impediment. I'm highly dyslexic, so that's a learning disability. But I'm me. I own it. If I stumble, I apologize and I move on, right? And you have to be yourself. People are going to invest, especially in the wedding industry, with people that they know, like, and trust. And authenticity is so overused, in some people's opinion, not mine. Because we are authentic every time we try something. We should never be the first woman to do something, right? We should just be the first to try something. We should never be the first gay woman to try something. I just want to be the first woman to try, so I can let others come along after me, right? And no matter how authentic I can be, I'm still going to be me. I can't authentically be anybody else. I can only do me. And I do me honest and open, unapologetically. And if you show up every day and you have that attitude that carries you through, how can you not possibly succeed? By your own definition. Everybody's definition of success is different, right? But if you are yourself and you are only putting out there the things that you want to attract by being yourself, you will have an unbelievable career in this wedding industry. The wedding industry is a place to have a career. Exactly. Yeah. But you have to show up and be yourself. Don't try to be a trend. Be the reason that there needs to be a trend. If you want to have a trend, don't follow that trend. Just set that trend. Be yourself and do
Truth
that.
bombs.
That's fire.
Truth bombs being dropped, people.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. Frank.
I'm just
Look, I just want to say, first of all, for anybody who is just getting an opportunity to meet Bobbi right now on this, the first day I met Bobbi, this is exactly the same Bobbi that you are meeting right now and that I've known on Clubhouse, through Instagram, through phone conversations. This is as authentic as it comes, and I love it. But authenticity is huge. Yeah. And in my opinion, because people are eventually going to see through it if it's not true. And I think that's not to circle back to Clubhouse. I know we've been bringing it up a lot, but that's something that Clubhouse does really well, right?
Yeah.
Through your voice, people are going to know if you're authentic or not really quick. Because if I hear you in the next room, at some point you're going to slip if you're not just being you, right? And people can see that when you're doing that with your couples. They hear something over the phone the first time you talk to them, then you talk to them again as they lead up to their wedding, and now you sound different. Or then you get there and you sound different. Like they're going to call you on that. So if you're not every single day, then it's going to lead to a problem with not just your business, but also with you, because people are going to start calling you out on it.
Frank dropping fire
don't be, right, exactly. Well, that vendor that I talked to a year in advance, and we have these great emails and we have these great plans, and this is what's going to happen. And I show up at the wedding day and you're a total a-hole. I mean, don't be that person, because if that's if you're only doing something to get the money, you will never have a good career. You will never have a prosperous life. You cannot chase the money. You cannot live in fear. You have to live in abundance, but abundance has to be authentic. What you put out there, you will get back. And I believe both ways. So you can't treat your clients one way and then on the wedding day, just go, oh no, I'm not doing that. I just got the money and I'm here as a paycheck. Because yes, this is a business. From the get-go, this is a business. But I firmly believe that they're investing in us as individuals. You cannot be a good DJ or do an MC or entertainer and stand up there and act like you like, Whitney Houston and mock it behind you. I will be able to see that you're playing a playlist that you don't care about and you're just spinning it without thinking, and you're no regard to it. The dance floor is empty or full. Because if I come to you as a couple with a playlist, I need you to say you can't play those 3 songs in a row because everybody will be out of the way. Like when you play It's Raining Men, every single gay person will be on. That is your gay calling card. I'm playing Dancing Queen and When It's Raining Men, and every single gay person that's in the wedding, if you ever thought about it, now I know. But if you don't do that authentically and you don't show up and want to play that for that couple in the most authentic way, we're going to stand there and sit back and go, I don't know why this wedding was so sucky. The DJ didn't know what they were doing. They didn't know how to MC anybody. And my God, I had to go out there and request 85 songs. And if you do not be brave enough, and if you're not authentic enough to stand up here and say, no, I'm really sorry, right now would not be the time for me to play the hokey pokey, you're doing yourself a disservice. This is your business. Authentically be you and say, hokey pokey isn't going to work right now. However, I'll play that right after I get done with the Macarena that's also very old. But you have to be able to do that and say that and then move on from that, right? And as the more people drink, for a fact, the stories that you guys can tell that I get to witness when they come up and whisper in your ear, I can only imagine the slurs and the alcohol. Your ears are just drunk with alcohol, right? As people come in and say, I don't know if you can play. And then you're like, what? And they put on, they go, that's my song. And not even remotely what they requested, right? But you pull it off because you're being authentically yourself and you're showing up to give that couple exactly what they knew they were going to get when they hired you, when they met with you, and why you showed them you should be the MC for their event. Because the receptions.
Right now.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. Because the receptions are 50% of this wedding and equally as important, if not more, for your guests about the guest experience. So that's
what's
vitally
so funny
important.
is actually this weekend I had a lady come up and ask me to play Yeah by Usher literally while it was playing.
Yep.
It was literally playing, and she's like, hey, can you play Yeah by Usher? I'm like, yeah, like look how fast I read your mind. It's already on. It was really kind of funny. I love that.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
Just dropping the fire. No whispering in the ear anymore. Yes, request now. That is one of our sponsors. Way to bring that up.
Have to be.
Frank, you brought up Man, well, actually,
You brought up a lot of good points.
well, yeah. And one of the things that you said that's been expanded upon, that I just want to go back to for a second, which I think is really cool, is that if you can just always be yourself authentically, you never have to think about what did I say to this person versus that person, and blah, 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 blah. And I think like so you saying that is like, it's so powerful. It's like when people say, just be truthful. You know, if you just be truthful, then you don't have to remember what you said.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right.
If you're authentic, if you're just authentically you, which sometimes you have to embrace the fact that means you might be an asshole sometimes. And if that's the case, then that's it. It is what it is. Right.
Yeah.
But at least you can. And my final point on this is that people will have no choice but to respect you because you're always authentically yourself. And I think
exactly.
That's,
yeah.
And they won't question you either. Take it one step further, since we're talking about business. You know, I know how far I can push Bobbi, but when I want to do this, Bobbi's going to go, no, that's not going to benefit your guest. I want your guest to have an experience. Because I'll be real honest with you, I sometimes don't believe I work for the client. I work for the guest. I want the guest to have an experience. Why? Because then they will tell the client that the wedding's successful. I can do my job. You can do your job. The couple's happy. But a week, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months later, when they're still talking about, remember at the band when you were dancing at the DJ and the DJ played that song and the whole, now that's the experience they recall. If they're not talking about your wedding, it wasn't an experience. So while you may have embraced it and you may love it, and we all know it's a blur, you know, Nick will tell you that's why they want the video and the photos, right? To remember the day that they didn't even get a chance to participate in. So when you're authentically yourself and you know, hey, don't push me. Here's my boundaries. Don't do this. This is what's going to happen. Every action you have, there's a consequence. But when you're authentically that way all the time, then they know that you mean business on those points and that point. And it just has to be that way. I mean, you cannot stay in business very long in this industry if you try to bullcrap people and pull the wool over their eyes, because they will see right through it, and you will not be successful, because you will mess up so bad that you will never work again. And I'd rather make a mistake and own it and say, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I called you the wrong name. I showed up 10 minutes later, or I'm sorry, I played the wrong song at this particular moment. Own it. Own it. Yeah. Because when you do the right thing and you own it, nothing but FABBO is going to come your way, because you owned the mistake, because we're not perfect. Wedding days, breaking news here, are not perfect. 364 days of the year are not perfect. Wedding days are not perfect. And they're not your best day ever. You'll never hear me say that. Because when you wake up tomorrow married, that's a pretty damn good day, right? So why is today the best day ever? Today is the new family history. Today is the day a new chapter opens. Thank you for letting us celebrate with you and being part of that story. But it's not your best day. I'm going to be here to photograph. You're going to be here to play music. There's going to be so many best days in your life. Embrace today. Stand in this moment. Get ready to celebrate forever on. That's what you have to do. Because when you do the right thing, and FABBO things are going to come. And when you do good, then we can continue to do well. And as an industry and as small business owners, when we are making a good income because we're being honest and authentic, then we can give back to our communities, do what to do good. And that's something every business owner needs to learn, that you can be prosperous and purposeful, and it's okay to have both. And you do that by showing up authentically every single dang day.
Wow. I love that so much. That's so powerful. I love it so much.
I'm at a physical loss for words. How that is literally, to me, that's literally the meaning of life. Like Bobbi said, if you can do something that you love doing, you do it authentically, you do it truthfully, and you're able to give back to your community, you just won life.
Yeah,
I really feel like you just won life. So I couldn't have said it any better, Bobbi. That was absolutely incredible.
But see, this is what Frank and I deal with on a regular basis when we're in a room, because I mean, we're not literally doing it, but I can imagine both of us literally looking at the phone like, Frank, what you got? I don't know. David, what you got? I don't know. She just said everything.
Literally,
I don't know that there's much more I could say after that. You know what I mean?
Run through a wall. That's literally all I can do.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But it's so.
But we all have value differently, right? We all do something differently, and you guys bring to the table. I might be a little more energetic and a little louder. But you guys bring that calming. You both have that voice. We always joke that we don't want to go behind either one of you. And then you add Carl in there. Forget that crap, right? Yeah. So, I mean, we don't want to follow you guys because you guys just have those voices, I mean, I talk quickly. I talk fast. I want to get your energy up. Then I need individuals like you guys to come in and hone in what I just said. bring it down to a level that everybody sees it, then I get them excited again so that they are constantly moving in their seat. They're not falling asleep. We want them to be actively paying attention, right? We want them actively listening here today. And we want them to understand that what benefit it is to be able to be a small business owner in an industry that you love on a day that you get to celebrate the start of somebody's next chapter. It's a privilege you should just never take for granted. So
yeah, and everybody listens differently, right?
Yep.
So if you're being authentic and you're being the energized Bobbi through Clubhouse, through here, through whatever the platform is, and then David and myself are coming in and we're being a little bit more of like the opposite of that, still giving the same message repackaged in our own words, then the people who receive Bobbi's method more hear it, right? And then the people who receive our method more hear it. And so together, like, we're getting everybody, but without any one of us, then somebody could get missed.
Exactly. And it takes to some of all of us on a wedding day as well. That's about the wedding team and how you work on the wedding day team, right? And that's why you want to surround yourself with people who have the same core values as you. What are your non-negotiables? What are your core values? I mean, for a long time, I had on my website every once in a while, especially now in Clubhouse, somebody will say, I want my website to be like Bobbi's when it grows up. My website's nothing special, but for a long time I had on there, these are my core values. If you believe in kindness and support, X, Y, Z, Y, Z, you're in the right place. If not, here's a link to Google, because I mean it. Because if you're not going to be on the core values with me, you might write me the biggest check in the world. And I know all the time, lots of times we say, well, as long as their name fits on that check and that pay to order spot, I want their money. I don't want that client. I want the clients that's going to believe in me. I want the clients that are going to want to appreciate photography and the power in photography and how the photography can benefit for that day. And so you have to have a set of core values and you have to have a set of non-negotiables. When you start off in this business, you're going to take every single job. You're going to take everything that comes along because you need to learn. Because being a DJ is one thing, being a videographer is one thing. Add the emotion of a wedding, right? And so everybody's always talking about budgets and everything. Mess up one day, mess up a DJ gig at a wedding. And when you thought you got hired because you were low in budget, now that budget is blown because now they're saying it's $1 million lawsuit because I didn't get the music I wanted, or I didn't hear my first dance song, or Bobbi lost a card, or Nick didn't get the video right. All of a sudden, now that wedding's $1 million and unbelievably priced. So show up authentically, knowing what you can do and how you can do it, and serve those clients. Know who you are, what you do, and how you serve. Do those things. So on your website, also have your core values. Let everybody know. Don't even click the contact button if you're not going to be a nice person, if you're not going to want to love everybody. And also, don't come here if you want to have weddings on holidays, because I'm not your person. I'm too old. I'm too tired. I do not want to work New Year's Eve ever again. And that's okay for anybody that does. But I don't want to work holidays. I just don't want to work holidays, right? So those are my non-negotiables. I don't want to be working holiday. So no matter what kind of check you write me, I'm not going to have it. Learn early on your non-negotiables. I try to take all of July off because I'm usually speaking or doing something, and it's just too dang hot here. I live on an island where it's 14 times the population comes down here for vacation. I can't, 16-mile island that now has more people than ever live here year round. I don't want to work weddings in July. I take off all of July. I speak or do something. I have one wedding this year that we had to relocate because that's the exception. I give everybody a pass on 2020, not just us in the wedding industry, but our clients as well. I can't hold true to my non-negotiable. Trust me, that client automatically said, Bobbi, we have a problem. You don't work July. This is the only time the Biltmore can see us. So I had to make a compromise. I'm willing to make that compromise. But the client knew coming into it that my non-negotiable was I do not do weddings in July. I'll do anything else you want to do. I'll speak, I'll come and talk, but I am not going to do a wedding in July. Non-negotiables. And everybody needs to have it.
Just want to real quickly say hi to Chris. He was on the pre-show with us on Clubhouse. He's in Clubhouse rooms a lot with us. So Chris, hey, thank you. And actually, I don't know if y'all caught it earlier. He said it's good to see you guys visually, which is really interesting. Yeah, because all we do is ever hear each other's voices. We don't, we see photos of somebody, but we don't really, it's more so hearing each other. So I think that's really cool. And Chris, thank you again for watching and following us. And so Chris told a story about why he calls himself DJ Adonis, which I thought was such a cool story. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to tell the story. I'm going to use that as a reason why, if you don't know Chris J. Wallace yet, reach out to him and ask him why he uses the name DJ Adonis. I promise you you'll love the story. It's really a cool story.
And I'll tell you another story, David and Frank and Nick. When we were in a room on Clubhouse the other day, we were in a unique vendor room, right? So helping unique vendors, like, different people, things that we don't think of, aside from cigar rolling, but like we had a yoga person in there. Chris raises his hand and comes up. And you know what Chris says? You're going to love this. He comes up and says, I don't have a unique business. I am unique. Therefore, I am my unique business. And I was like, so solid. That's showing up being authentic, right?
Yes.
That's fantastic.
I love it.
That is really.
He knows it. What makes my business unique owns it. And all the hard work that he's doing, I applaud him all the time for that. So, yeah.
That's so cool.
That's awesome. Chris, thanks for being on, man.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's go back to those non-negotiables, though, because I love you mentioning that. And I think it's an area that we all should strive to work harder on. I mean, I think that I have some, but I don't like publicly put them out there. And maybe I should. So I love this part of the conversation. I'd love you just kind of give us a little more wisdom when it comes to that, Bobbi.
Well, because you guys have kids, right? So I don't have any kids, but it doesn't mean I want to work till 2:00 in the morning on a Saturday. So when I create a timeline from you, this is the timeline. It will state on there that if you need to go over, it's $1,000. Trust me, you never go over, because it will cost you $1,000. I don't have to ever implement that, but it will have to cost you something. The non-negotiable comes for what you don't do. You do something, here's the consequence, right? I have given you a timeline. The wedding planner has given you a timeline. The reason we follow the timeline is so that we get here and do this, because I don't want to be working. I do state of the end. I'm one of the rare photographers. I hear from my DJ friends all the time. They'll send me pictures. If they're in St. Louis or Chicago, they go, Bobbi, look, our photographer came in and just said, it's 8:00. I have to be out. So I need all the dances done. Make sure everybody's eating. I'm out of here. And they're like, my friend Bobbi works until 12:30 if she has to. Why? Because the end of your story is when you walk away. I will not be there for the first curl to the last drunk, but I will be there to the last drunk, not the first curl, right? Because that part doesn't work for me as a still photographer. That might work for a video. I want to be there when you drive off. I want to be there when your friends say goodbye, because that's the leading line to the next chapter. Hence, I'm a storytelling photographer. My non-negotiable is don't add an hour, because I won't be there for that. So you'll have to do the fake entrance, the fake exit with me being there. And I guarantee you that if you guys know this as DJs, if I pull you out to do that dreaded drunk people to fire sticks, you're not going to come back in the room and dance. So it's going to be over. So let me show you why you do not need to have the extra hour. That's going to cost you $1,000. And I've never had to stay for that, because that's my non-negotiable. I want to go home. I don't do 3 in a row anymore. My non-negotiable. If you hire me for a weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that's your wedding. I don't take a wedding on Friday. And as amazing as it is, now you want to talk to me on Thursday? I'll take your wedding on Thursday. Non-negotiables. I don't do 3 weddings in a row anymore. And even with COVID, I'm not doing that, right? I don't work in July. I don't work any holidays, right? And when I'm off on Sundays, I will take limited Sunday weddings, because I live in a market that is tourism, and I know Sunday weddings are popular here because of the lack of venues that we have. My non-negotiables are, I will take on a case-by-case basis. My non-negotiable is I have to talk to you like this or on FaceTime or something. I have to have a sit-down with you. I've been doing Zoom long before Zoom, because I need to see you. I need to see that you're interested. And number one, when I ask you to show up for a 4:00 Zoom meeting and you show up, you're probably going to show up on time for your wedding. I need those little story things. Those are my non-negotiables. And it's stated all around. This is what you can expect when you come to work for Bobbi Brinkman. This is what I expect if you hire Bobbi. So that's a non-negotiable. You will agree to these terms and conditions. You're going to fill out my wedding day form. You're going to show up for a couple phone calls. I will have to have a list of who everybody's in your wedding, because I'm not going to be the school teacher. I'm not going to be Julie, the cruise director. I'm not following everybody around. You know why? You don't want to pay me $1,000 at the end of the night, because your family can't gather around. It's important to me that I photograph your family. It's important to me that you have these family photos far more than anything else, because those could be the last photos that I take of somebody at that wedding. This could be, I'm privileged to know that I will take somebody's last photo at this wedding. And then when you get married and everything is done, and you said I do, and you go home, and you go to your honeymoon, and you come back to those photos that we took, and you're going to thank me. And then later on, when your grandparents pass away, or your family member passes away, your aunt passes away, you're going to be able to look at the photo on the wall and on an album, because my non-negotiable is you will get an album. It's not an upsell. It's part of what I do. I cannot tell the story if you don't have a book to look at it. I cannot tell that story, right? So I wanted to understand that as I have these non-negotiables, when I tell you that you have to have an album, it's because the power of photography means when somebody passes away, you'll pull that album on your lap and you will remember how much you were loved. You will look back at that photo and you will be reminded the privilege you had to love that person that fell away and the privilege it was for them to love you. That's the power of photography, and that's why you have to have an album. It's a non-negotiable. Does it put some people out of their price point and budget? Absolutely. I will help you find a way to get rid of the extra 75 chair covers, and all my wedding planner fans will kill me. But it's a chair. Let's not. If it's so ugly, it shouldn't be at your damn wedding to begin with. I mean, right? You have to cover up the damn chair. It shouldn't be at the wedding anyway. So let's find a way to get that money back so that you can have Bobbi photograph, so that you can have an album. Because it does no good to be a digital photographer. You're not going to go to your funeral and have somebody hold up, "Hi, this is what they did. Here's their drive. This is their life." Our birth certificates tell us when we were born. Our death certificates tell us when we die. The photos in between tell how you lived. That's the power of photography. Those are non-negotiables, and you stick to them.
Frank, do you have any non-negotiables?
Not really, but I feel like I should after that conversation.
Right?
No, I guess the only non-negotiable that I have is that it's more just like a communication expectation.
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna hear from me between these times.
Right.
Whether you call me a million times or you leave me a voicemail or you text me or you email me, none of it matters. Here's my preferred methods, and I'll be able to get back to you a little quicker if you do email as opposed to phone call. But if you want a phone call, then you're going to have to understand it's within this time frame. Other than that, through my website now, I am trying to promote not necessarily my non-negotiables, but my ideal client, which should also feed into non-negotiables indirectly. But I feel that I need to be a little, after hearing it like that, I feel that I need to have some direct non-negotiables, because it also plays to your authentic self. They really work hand in hand.
Yep.
Yes.
You being authentic plays directly into the non-negotiables that you just talked about.
Absolutely.
Well, the other byproduct of that is that, where it may sound a little harsh when you're kind of saying to somebody, this, and this, but it's coming from a place of you knowing, because of your experience, because of your understanding of events, because of your understanding of the industry, that you are setting them up for the best chance of success for their event, right?
Yep.
And if you want to invest in me as a photographer, why do you want me to just give them on a computer that you're not going to look at again, right? Yeah. So when I say it to you this way, trust me when I tell you, when you come to my website, it pretty much says that already. This is what to expect. Starting rates begin at $3,500. I don't hide that. I don't shy away from that. To even consider me talking to you is $3,500. And then, that's just where it's going to be. And then we're going to move on from there. But you will be getting an album. You will be getting an album that starts for me to photograph it. Now you will have to have a problem. And I just delivered 2 albums today, right? So this is the things that you have to do with your non-negotiables. And you guys have to remember, Frank, that maybe your non-negotiable is, instead of trying to be defining the ideal client, you're just the ideal vendor. Wedding pro. Let's become the ideal wedding pros, where people don't question. I'm going to do this, this, and this at your wedding. It's customizable based on what you need. You have certain music things you need to do. For me as a photographer, what is there to customize? I'm telling your story.
Yeah.
And I'm old, so I don't fall into I'm a light photographer and I'm a dark. No, I take photos of your day. I don't, that's what I do. So what is there for me to customize? How long I'm there? Maybe, but then you probably don't want a storytelling photographer like me, right? I'm not going to tell you get 30. I'm not going to tell you that you get, what is it? I just saw this on somebody's. I'm there for 4.5 hours. I deliver 418 photos. That's 1 photo every minute. Oh my God. I can't even begin to try to time that out. I'm going to tell your story in images based on your story that happens. It might be 75 photos. It could be 3,000. But there are photographers out there, and again, they'll all hate me for this, but I'm brutally honest, right? Authentically me. I don't know how you can tell somebody how many photos you're going to take when you haven't even met them yet.
Yeah.
How do I know? I mean, I can read a review, I can talk about it, but I don't know that $99 hamburger that I'm going to get at Dave Ramsey's, I can only assume it's going to be good because it's $99, but I don't know. But if you told me it's $99 and you get to take 3 bites out of it, and then you'll come back and at the end of 30 minutes, I'll take 3 more. I don't know. I show up for $99. Give me the damn hamburger. Right.
Chris Wallace, please feel free to ask a question. I saw your comment there. Please, I wasn't ignoring you. I just didn't want to cut Bobbi off there. But yeah, definitely feel free to drop, and not just Chris Wallace, but anybody that has questions.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah, please feel free to drop them in the comments. We're seeing everything come through. We want to answer those questions for you. If you're just joining us, we are talking with Bobbi Brinkman. Just an absolute dynamic person, wonderful person. And we are really just fortunate enough I will go out on a limb and say that I know that I'm fortunate enough and my life is better because I get to spend a lot of time with Bobbi. And so I appreciate that. Luke says, love the non-negotiables. I don't work holidays either unless the pay is an extra cheddar. Yeah, there you go. And I think the good thing about this non-negotiable deal is that as you're thinking and formulating this, there's no right or wrong because it's what's good for you is what makes sense for you. Yeah. And there's no judgment in it. If somebody says, well, what the hell are you guys talking about? I'm not going to pass up an opportunity to work on New Year's Eve. Hey, man, if that works for you or male or female, like absolutely go for it. Absolutely go for it. Let's see. Henry says, love all those non-negotiables from Bobbi and Frank. It actually makes everyone's life so much easier and clearer. Yep. No back and forth asking questions or wondering what's okay and what's not. Perfect. And
it also comes up when you do I'm sorry, somebody else have it. So when somebody has a non-negotiable, you also, the question will come up, well, Bobbi says this, this, and this. So now there's photographer XYZ. Well, that's photographer XYZ. I just told you my non-negotiables. You came to me. And I always want to say this with a little bit of caution, but it's true. They called us, right? We're solving the problem that they need. We're solving a problem that they need. They need photography. They need music. It is a problem, right? Because they need somebody to fill that. It's a good problem. It's a happy problem. But what they need is for us to solve something for them. So when we say that this is my non-negotiables, this is what I offer, and you want to go to Studio ABC, then go to Studio ABC. This is where I sit. I'm not going to chase the money. And I understand that at the very beginning of your careers, it's very hard to say no. But David always says it best. No means next opportunity. It's just, that's what you need to do, right? Yeah. You have to have the next opportunity that's coming. So you don't want to wait for that, right? It's kind of like you get in this career. And one of the things I say, and I'm a sports person, a little bit about I have a big sports background, but you want to work so hard that one day, you want to work so hard that your signature will be an autograph. You want to work so hard in this industry that your signature would be like collecting autograph, meaning that I was one of Bobbi's clients. I'm a BBP client. I'm a BBP bride. Been doing this for 40 years, as we mentioned. My good friend Meryl says, don't say that, right? But I own it. I now go to weddings where I sometimes have a table of 10. Those are all my brides. Every damn ceremony and every damn reception, there's a photo of me and 8 or 9 of my brides because they want to be a Bobbi Brinkman bride. They want to be a BBP couple. I get those photos taken all the time. Why? That's my legacy. I'm part of their family history. I'm part of their family history. They have built me. They elevate me. They let me do what I need to do. They let me fill myself with my passion. They let me be a service to them. The legacy I give them is these family photos. So every time you continue in this business and you do this the right way with kindness and compassion, that you know that you're going to be able to be a legacy for somebody and that you have these photos, they will be your own sounding board. They will appreciate your non-negotiables. They will be referring you. They won't question the non-negotiables because they go, well, of course Bobbi does it this way because look at what's delivered. In order to deliver these things, I have to have non-negotiables, right? And it's hard at the beginning to walk away from the money. Something better is coming. Every opportunity is out there. And if you have to let your integrity go or devalue your worth, And I'll take this moment to make sure that every one of your listeners hear that the price of somebody's budget does not determine your worth. The price of somebody's budget does not determine your worth. That's their budget. Work with it, figure it out, adjust it, non-negotiable wise.
Yeah, I think it's
give it
important.
away.
God, that's so important to remember that when somebody comes at you with a budget, it doesn't mean that they don't like value you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's incredible. Let me go through some of these questions and comments here because we got some good stuff coming in. So Chris's question, Bobbi, was, should I put it in my contract that clients have to email me back on 2 weeks or something like that? My clients suck when it comes to answering me back. So maybe some thoughts on helping Chris with that.
Well, sure,
he also expanded on that in some future responses too.
Oh, here we go. Okay. Or maybe put in my contract that if you don't email right away, then put some explains why they need to contact me within a reasonable time. I think.
Well, sure, Chris. That's very simple. They called you and they want the date. Your date is the inventory. That's our inventories. Those are our dates. So if Susie reaches out to Chris and wants Chris to be the person the unique person, the best Chris Wallace that there is to have, she's going to have to send that contract back, right? So in order to send that contract back, they have to sign it. So here's my contract. I'm putting everything in it. You have 3 days to return this to me. After 3 days, it's off the table. We start all over. And guess what? Non-negotiable. Oh, and on that fourth day, maybe it's up $50. Not that I'm telling you to do that. I'm just saying. But what I'm saying is you have to tell them what to do. Couples don't know, guys. They only know what they read in blogs. And they only know what happened at Susie's wedding. Or I don't want that to happen at Karen's wedding. And I'm not going to have that DJ because they played ridiculous music. Or that photographer, all they did was be a rock star and take the couple away for 9 hours and we never saw them. Or they talk about my photographer let me be present at my own wedding, right? Non-negotiables, right? Know up front. So Chris, you need to do a contract and you send it back. Out of courtesy, Susie, you asked to secure my services. I'm giving the opportunity to do so. Within 3 days, that opportunity is reneged. If somebody comes along interested in the date, I'll be sure to give you the first right of refusal. But after 3 days, I will no longer be contacting you. Don't chase the money. When you start talking in those terms simply, they realize it's a business. And if they want Chris J. Wallace, they will need to send that contract back. So when you say the contract back, it simply needs to state, you have 3 days to view this contract. And if you're using some CRM system, most of you guys know I don't do a CR system, but I believe I've done enough teaching and educating with individuals coaching. The CR system can have in there. It simply expires. Within 3 days, if I don't see back in 3 days, it's expired. And then you have to start all over. You'll find out exactly how important you're going to be at their wedding. And if they treat you this way now, Chris, let me just tell you how they treat you at the wedding.
That's
non-negotiables.
That's right. So Henry asked, any insights into what's next for BBP later this year and going forward?
Sure. BBP will finish up its year. We'll have 27 weddings this year. Excuse me, gentlemen. 27 weddings this year. 17 of which are rescheduled from last year. Keeping in mind, I had 7 states I was dealing with photographing during the pandemic. So I couldn't work in half the states. So it's just move everybody here. And then I have 7 weddings in 2022. We are already getting 2023 inquiries. And as most of you probably have figured out, that will probably be the end for me. 40 years is a long time. My body is tired. I'm an ex-hockey player, and I have the lovely titanium rods and the scars to prove that I have all these body issues. If you ever see me in shorts around here, you'll take 2 looks at my knees and go, holy Toledo. Yeah, because they got the scars and the marks, right? So I have to put a line in the sand because we've always booked out 2 years in advance. So the motivational speaking and the education and, working with a publicist, it keeps me busy. I am all about, I've shared with David and Frank, I want to be bringing small conferences while I enjoy the big cater source and special events and yay. I do believe there's a number of people that don't get to attend those. I want to bring what we love to do and how to do them. And I think there are cities we can come to. I've been the last couple of years. So BBP will still be BBP. I will always be a storyteller with a photographer, with a photograph, but I want to extend it into teaching education. By the time they can show the photos, that theme is gone. And I'm not a big fan of these theme shoots anyway, because when are you ever going to bring or whatever the heck that TV show was on Netflix, when are you ever going to really photograph that wedding? It doesn't make any sense. But if you want to learn to do beach weddings, then come and do beach weddings. Set up something on your own. Don't wait for somebody to make it happen. You have to be the driver of your bus. If you want to work on the beach, go get somebody and do a beach wedding. So I want to take what I know about photography, not f-stops, not lighting, not all that. I want to take what I can teach you and remind you that you don't need to invest in a lot of gear, that if you shoot images from your heart, you're going to be successful. Because if you just learn to see the photo, as a sports photographer, I brought this right into my weddings. Action, reaction. Any of my team that works with me is, I know what's going to happen. Let's face it, you walk down the dang aisle. If you do not know what's going to happen when you get to that dang aisle, you're carrying away because somebody's balling. And so that's what we have to do. And as storytellers, we have to be able to bride or the grooms and pivot to the families, not just the groomsmen and the groom, because as that couple, regardless of what sex you are, when you walk down the aisle, every in the audience on that wedding day, they're only looking at, oh my gosh, I remember when he was 2 years old and the dad brought him home from the hospital. I remember when she graduated high school. That's what they're looking at when they walk down the aisle. The slideshow of these individuals that they've been invited to's life. The VIPs are sitting here, and this is the slideshow. So you want to be present for that as a photographer. I can't teach that. I want you to go to style shoots, and I want you to try does what? Not stop. So I want to go on the road. We're doing that with Project Rise Cities, where I'm going to be able to teach you standing here. Here's a beautiful set, beautiful core. Now how you photograph it. So be to get into that all the way full time, and still be motivating and inspiring. And as long as people have me come into, I'm very welcomed. It will be a hard day. People may need to hang on. Already gets married. I just don't have it in me anymore. One of the topics, and it means a lot to me because I love telling people stories. But my body, I have to take care of that first. And years of dropping that puck and a wicked slap shot has taken its toll on me. So I that and always wanted to do something different as a photographer. So BVP is moving from behind the camera and coming to a city near you, regardless of the size of your club or the size of your group. I don't want to be an influencer. I want to be an inspiration. And I want to cheer every wedding professional on to have the career and the success that they want by their own definition, by talking about non-negotiables, by talking about showing up and being yourself, and about the opportunities that you make for yourself. You're going to fall down and scrape your knees. Surround yourself with people that are going to pick you up and clap you on. Don't surround yourself with people that only want something out of you. Surround yourself with people that will help you get where you need to go. And when you get to whatever level of success you have, on all the way up, open that elevator door, pull some other people on. And when you get to the top of the elevator, send the damn thing back down so it can start all over again.
That's right.
That's what this industry needs. That's what I want to continue to be a part of this next generation, the next chapter of my life. Love that.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that's definitely something that you and I, Bobbi, are definitely kindred spirits in the sense that that's where I really see myself going in my career as well. So I can really relate to that a lot. And
Frank and I talk about the mental side a lot too, because this gets really hard. So Frank and I are never afraid to go into a room and say, hey, you know what? You're going to get tired some days. Burnout's going to happen. But if you do not take care of yourself, how can you serve anybody else? You know, how can you show up for that person? How can you show up? Because as a wedding day team, we all need to be on. It's a team. You know, I need all you guys to be the point person. I need somebody to be the goalie. I need somebody to drop the puck. I need somebody to be officiating. I need somebody to yell at that made the back call, right? We're a team, regardless of how we all got there and where we're going. For the 10 or 12 hours that we're at a wedding, or 6 or 7, we're a team. Our goal is to get that client to the end of drunk people with fire sticks and on to their next chapter. That is our goal, team. You are the soundtrack. I have the photos. You guys are the soundtrack, because when they hear the music, When they're driving in a car, they're going to go, oh my gosh, that's our first dance song. Or remember when Frank played that? Remember when David played that? And then they look at a photo. When they look at a photo, I want them to remember, oh my gosh, I know what song was playing. Because everybody looks at a photo and remembers something different. That's the power of photography. My job is to capture a moment that brings you back to exactly where you were feeling what you wanted to feel at that time with all the senses around it, such as the music. What did it smell like? What we're eating? That's what photography can do. And I'll always want to be involved in some way in the wedding industry doing that part. And again, cheering everybody on to be the best and authentic they can be in their own discipline in this industry.
I'm speechless. I find myself speechless a lot on this show tonight. But man, I mean, I'm inspired.
Yeah.
I can't even begin to say how inspiring and just incredible this conversation seriously has been. I mean, I feel a lot of this stuff, and I just took so many great points away from being authentic to, I love how you were talking about surrounding yourself with the people that are going to pick you up. I think that's really, really underlooked, especially as someone who's a little bit younger, who, you know, a lot of my friends and family didn't take the same path that I did on this, you know, journey. And it's really easy to kind of get caught up and let those, like, their words, like, take you down. I'm seriously, I mean, Chris literally said I might start crying for real. But to have a support system like Bobbi, like Frank, like David, who are helping and lifting people up, I mean, that's really what it's all about. And a community like this, whether it's here, whether it's Clubhouse, whether you pick up the phone and call one of us, I mean, I think that's really what it's all about. And I got to say, I'm just incredibly grateful for the conversation that's happened right here tonight.
And I hope you too understand, Nick, that, you know, as your kids grow, and Frank, everybody here, you know, we're moving every single weekend. We're away from our families and your friends. So that non-negotiable, I'm sorry, it's an honest decision. I need to make sure that if you're investing in me and I invest my time and my commitment to you, that I am rewarded because you're allowing me to do my job. I want to be able to do my job. So let's make sure that we're a match. Let's make sure that we go good together, because on that wedding day, I don't want to go, my gosh, how did I miss this?
Yeah.
The non-negotiable is listen, and service. And at the very end, because if you've done your job on your website and you've done your job in this conversation, sales don't come up. You simply then send back the contract, and clients wouldn't be not wanting to get it back. Because when I have a Zoom with somebody, I'm not talking at all about what it's going to cost. It's going to be, what is it? How can I best serve you? What can my photography do on your wedding day that's different than somebody else you've talked to? What is it that I can help you with? Okay. What makes me stand out that you're having this conversation with me? And if they're smart, they'll say, well, what makes us stand out? Because then I usually will say, well, what makes you stand out to me right now is the fact that you're sitting here holding hands and you're not arguing and you're wanting to generally move forward with this decision together. And I see the excitement in you, and I see that you can't wait. And this is what I expect from my clients. This is what it's like to be a BBP couple. And automatically they get that. So by the time I get done with this, we haven't even talked about price. The contract goes out. I send a proposal off first. This is a proposal. If this looks good to you, I'll get a contract up to you within moments. They look good, and then we write a contract out, and the money comes back with the contract. And that is it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts, because they understand where we're coming from, and they understand that this is a business, but I'm privileged to witness. We are all privileged to witness this next first chapter of somebody's life. You know, it's such a privilege, and we never can take that for granted, but that has to be how we go into it. That's how, if you're authentic and you present yourself authentic in a meeting, they have no way, they're only going to fall in love with you even more. And then on the wedding day, when they come up to you and say, oh my gosh, Bobbi, you've done an amazing job. You've been so great. They haven't seen one damn photo I've taken. But what is it, David? How did I make you feel? How did I make you feel all day? When people write a testimonial that says, Bobbi included every single person at my wedding. Why? Because everybody should be included. You invited these people to attend your day. I want to make sure there's at least one photo of them. That's my job as a photographer. I'm the historian of the day. Who, what, where, when, and why. Wow. That's my job. So to deliver you a collection of unbelievable and unremembered moments.
So we're already a little over an hour. Do you have a few more minutes? I have one more.
I'm good.
Okay, I have one more thing I want to just address before we go. But I want to go back to something that you said, because I think it's something that it just kind of really hit me when you said it. I want to make sure that everybody listening heard it, and those that watch the show later will will connect with this, hopefully. When you said the reason why I have these non-negotiables is because I want to make sure that if I'm going to invest my time in you, that it makes sense to do so. And that's powerful, because if you think about it, unless all of the people in your life are people that are in our industry, then that means that they probably live and work the opposite schedule that you do.
100%.
So if you want to spend time with your family, if you want to spend time with your friends, a lot of times you can only do that at the time frame where we're going to be working otherwise, right? Exactly. So if I'm going to take myself out of that opportunity, it's got to be worth it.
Yeah.
It's got to be worth it.
If you're going to miss your daughter's first dance or your son's first goal, it better be for the right client, because your child will never want to go into this business. You know why? I don't want to go into a business where I'm taking away, my dad or my mom was gone every single Saturday. I don't want to go into this business.
Yep.
So I want to make sure photographers, Nick, for you, we get so busy telling everybody else's stories that we fail to tell our own. We have to exist in photos. We have to be there. We have to be with surrounding ourselves. And that's the hard part. And getting to the point where you have non-negotiables might mean that you have failed. But when you stop believing yourself, it is a means to an end. You're never going to be able to serve if you do not believe in yourself. You have to look forward. And if you fall down and 2 or 3 clients after you've done all these things and they don't agree with your non-negotiables, it is okay, because they would not have been the right client for you to take off. And I guarantee you, as sure as I sit here, you would have said yes to that wedding. And on that particular day was the rare opportunity that you got to go to Boston Fenway Park. Do the right thing, right?
Don't give me goosebumps now. Don't be giving me those goosebumps, girl.
But that's it. But I mean, it's hard. And I know it's hard to say, but you have to, that's why it's betting on yourself. Yeah. If you don't bet on yourself, who's going to bet on you? You're the one that has to make the decision. That's why I really have been working hard in the industry the last couple of years to change the narrative. Let's be the ideal wedding pro. Then we're not chasing. And you know what? It's going to change as we grow and evolve. I mean, I'm telling you right now, I don't know anybody that's coming out of 2020 that's exactly doing what they did in 2019. They can't. They've grown. They've grown by not doing anything and being busier, right? So you have to get ready to go. And it's okay to say to yourself, this is where I am now. I might not have been here 40 years ago. I've redone and rechanged my mind, but the non-negotiables have come with me. The being authentic has come with me. The betting on myself. Those things are the solid stream to my journey story. And capturing authentic moments of fabulous couples. That's always been what I do. I'm telling the story of FABBO couples, all FABBO couples. Wherever their love story is told, I want to be there. That's an honor and privilege. Those have all come along with me. I'm betting on myself. I'm showing up every day. I have non-negotiables because that's me. And by having those things in place, I am your ideal vendor. I am your ideal wedding pro. And it shouldn't be a single question when you pick up that phone or that email and reach out to me and I respond back. There shouldn't even be a question. I should be booked before you even pick up the phone to call me if I've done my job correctly by showing you who I am, who I serve, and how I do it, and my non-negotiables and my core values.
Wow.
That's how you book. That's how you get booked, and that's how you stay busy.
Class has definitely been in session. So the final thing I wanted to talk about, and you kind of alluded to it when, referring to 2020, I think that, I know that 2020 was such a challenging year for all of us. And, we start thinking about having these, big dreams of what we want to be in this industry. Right. I think when you get hit with something like 2020, it really makes it challenging to think big, to dream big, to believe big, and so forth. And maybe just talk a little bit about, how can folks that maybe are struggling with that, how can they find ways to kind of, just dream big, believe in yourself?
And it's going to be a very simple answer, and nobody's going to like it. You definitely have to go backwards to move forward. You have to take a step backwards. If you don't go back and make mistakes, how can you realize where you are right now? By they saying why you're dreaming bigger than you believe or believe that you deserve, stop where you are, put your feet firmly on the ground, and relish where you are right now. Embrace all that hard work that you've done behind you to get where you want to go. Because guess what happens? What happens if you get where you want to go and you decide you don't like it there? What happens if you work so hard on all these things and now you're here and you don't like it. What's going to happen? Or what if you get there and you go, man, this is just not the view I thought. And now what's my next road? What am I going to do? I have to dream bigger and keep changing that dream and moving forward? Absolutely. So 2020 knocked you off your path. 2020 put you out in the, 15 miles down the road with an empty tank of gas. You start walking. You get your gas tank or you leave it there and you start walking. And as you start walking and you take those first steps, they're the same first steps you did when you hung your shingle. You reached out on faith, you walked in faith, you walked in abundance, you didn't walk in fear, and you said, oh my God, I'm going to be a DJ. I'm going to be a florist. I'm going to do this. Everybody else around you said, you're absolutely crazy. You're not going to be able to do that. How are you going to sustain yourself and be busy? Because weddings they're recession proof, right? Somebody always needs to get married. But the difference is to get married in most states, you need the person getting married, somebody to marry you, and a witness. Here in Georgia, I just need the two people in the officiant. Don't even need a witness. The rest of us are white glove service. The rest of us have to earn that. And how do we earn that? Non-negotiables, showing up authentically, who you serve, what you do, and how you do it. That will always keep you busy. Because when you're dreaming big, and that might be as simple as, I want to have 40 weddings. How do I get to 40 weddings? By doing 39 good ones. How do I get to 39 weddings? By doing 38 good ones. When you step out every single day and you plant, this is what I want, this is my intention, and you put in all the hard work all along the way, all that FABBO is going to come to you because you're authentically showing up and delivering what you said you can do in the most authentic way. Build a business that you love, but your clients love more. Build a business that you're proud of, but your clients are prouder to say they bought services from and are part of that family. Mm-hmm. You can be prosperous and profitable. You can have both. And in order to do that, you have to dream big. But do not think for a moment. Do not stop right now, as we are here in almost April of 2021, and not pat yourself on the back because you made it through 2020. You're dinged up, you're bruised. You probably have a lot less money. Sit in that space. That's what you're going to get. You took the steps to start and said you can do it. Say you can do it again. You're going to say, if you do this right, you'll be saying you can do it over and over 7 or 8 times because you're always going to be changing. I hope that when I have a conversation with somebody 6 months from now or a year from now, I can say, so where are you now? How come you're right here, right now? What did you do? And along that way goes back to what I told you, Nick. Surround yourself with the people that will help get you there, that want you to get there, that push you to get there. I firmly believe if you want to see where we're going to be in 4 or 5 years, look around you right now.
Yeah.
Because if they're not cheering you on, they're taking up space, and that space needs to be taken up by somebody else. You can do it by believing in yourself. And if you stop believing in yourself, it's an end to nowhere. Bet on yourself, but embrace where you are right now and dream big, plan big, have it out there. Constantly keep working to get there because you will be the secret sauce to get you there. You are you. Circles back to the first question we had today. What always has been, always will be. Regardless of the changes, the path that you take, the number of times you fall down, the number of times you get up, it's still you. Just a different version, scraped up knees, maybe having a successful year. It's still a different version of yourself. But when you're authentic, you can accommodate all those versions and your clients will grow with you because your clients along the way should grow with you. The abundance is in that if you're authentic and do the work and put the time in and are honest, that's what people see. But they also see your struggles. They know right now that a lot of us aren't working. The best thing that happens when a client comes up to you and doesn't ask for a refund because they know you're struggling. It's not your fault, right? So you're showing them, look, I'm still trying to move forward. What can I do with you? These are my non-negotiables moving forward. This is what I have to happen. And contracts and all the things that happened in 2020 are all insane. We can't do with what we have, what we learned now. So pick yourself up, dust yourself off, stand right now in the mirror, applaud that you're here. Take those next first steps to where you want to go. But wherever you want to go, make damn sure you want to get there. Because if you get there and you don't like it, you're going to have to try all over again. Mm-hmm. And it may not even have room for you when you get there. You may get there and go, oh my gosh, the view here, and nobody likes me here, and I don't want to be here. The core values don't line up here. Then take a different path. Dream again. Never stop trying, because if you stop believing in yourself, it's a means to an end. You're the secret sauce. You're exactly why your business is here, because you are FABBO, right where you are right now and wherever you want to go. You have to bet on yourself all the time to take those steps.
We'll see you guys next week.
Yeah. And with that, we're out of here. Wow.
Holy guacamole.
Yeah, exactly. And up till last year, by the way, I didn't even like guacamole, but I love it.
Do you, Bobby? Do you notice you leave people speechless a lot? Like, is that a common?
I hear that. Sometimes I see it. I see it if I'm live. I can see people like, oh my God, I'm thinking that, because I try to tell everybody, even though they're sitting in an audience right now, or you're sitting here and your listeners are here, I don't know what you need to hear. Yeah. And it's harder for me because I can't gauge your body language. When I'm in a room, I can see I might have a whole motivational speech or a topic that you asked me to speak on. But when I come in a room, if I see or I have a feeling, I will literally change on a dime, because I firmly believe that I need to say something that somebody needs to hear, not what somebody paid me to say. And not what, and when I mean paid me to say is they asked me to come and speak on this topic, because nobody can make me say anything I don't want to say. So I want to make sure that that's understood. When you pay me to come and speak, it's because you asked me for a topic. But if I'm walking around a conference and I see a vibe, or I get a lot of those same old questions, I would change what I message, and I'm going to stand on stage and I'm going to change, because somebody needs to hear it, and somebody else needs to hear that, and somebody else needed to hear that. Because the circumstances that we're in right now are not what creates joy. We are what creates joy. So the circumstances, regardless. So sitting in a room when I'm talking, I can gauge, okay, this message is what was on point. I see people cry. I see people stand up and applaud. And I see people shake their head. I see people taking notes. But what I can tell you is, when I get done speaking as a motivational speaker or inspirational speaker, whatever title you want to give me, my job is not for you to like me. My job is not for you to stand up and applaud. My job is for you to take action. And if that action is betting on yourself, I want you to do that. If that action is to go work the not is open to gay couples as you thought, maybe I need you to go talk about it differently. Maybe right now we need to talk about Asian hate. Whatever it needs to be, when I get done speaking, I need you to take that action. You don't have to like me, agree with me, applaud me, cry, anything. I need you to take action. And it was all my heart and all my soul that I hope the action is that you invest in yourself, you bet on yourself, and you realize that you are the secret sauce, and you are what sets your business apart, and you are what will make your life worth living if you show up authentically every day. That is my role when I get done speaking to you. And if that moves you or makes you do something, then I have been successful in what I delivered, regardless if it's on topic or not. You've called to take action. Whichever way you take it, you've called to take action. And that's all I can ever ask for.
I think you made a really, really good point, though. And I respect the fact that you kind of corrected it. But if you think about it, when you said, I'm here to deliver the message that needs to be delivered, not what you paid me to say. If you think about that, that kind of really applies to a lot of what we as you learn as a professional. Like, I can take it into my business, and Frank, like, this kind of could make sense to you. Think about how many times you've been given a playlist from somebody of music, and then it's just not really working with the group. And so you have to shift. And a lot of times when you make that shift, I mean, Frank, I don't know about you, and you could comment on this too. I get a little nervous doing it, because I'm like, well, I don't want part of my brain says I don't want the client to be upset with me because I didn't play all of their requests. But the other part of my brain that usually ends up taking over says, yeah, but you want them to have a good time. And sometimes maybe they just don't understand what that means. And so you've got to be a professional, and you've got to do what you got to do. And if they leave having a good time, then you hope, and ultimately that is really, the outcome that you're looking for.
Well, and a lot of the times when...
And David just wrote his non-negotiables.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you really?
Well.
Yeah.
I want the opportunity to look at the dance floor and see what's there, without regard of what happens if I don't play your playlist.
Yeah.
Because that's your job as DJs.
Yep.
Right.
Our job as photographers and videographer is that they're going, yep, or the mark, yep, no. Your job as professionals, and why they paid you, if you are the ideal vendor, wedding pro for them, is that you wouldn't have even had to ask. You may give me your playlist, but what you hired me for is the experience that I'm going to bring. I would rather know what I cannot play for reasons, ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend, or you don't like that language. But do not tell me what to play. That is my job.
Right.
That's why I'm the expert here.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. So your non-negotiable is, I have the ability to read the room, and therefore not to come off your playlist, and you may not get every song that's on your request. I have the opportunity to make your event the experience that you don't know you want, but I know that you need.
Wow.
And sometimes, and to Bobby's point, and sometimes all the couple wants is for the guests to have a good time, so that everyone can have a collective experience where it's like we're all having fun. So, and if that's on you to create that experience, I want to give you all the power so you can create that experience for us, because I think that's a lot of couples.
The clients do not know.
Yeah.
They don't know.
Yeah.
They only know from a wedding is when they've been to one.
Right.
And the worst thing that happens if you have, we talked earlier, they have a bad DJ or a jerky photographer.
Right.
They don't know. So the non-negotiables are, I have the right to read the room. You are paying me to be the DJ and the MC. That's what I'm here for. Your wedding is one half. What I do is one half, sometimes more, of the entire wedding day. You're there sometimes for ceremony music or ceremony miking. I'm there the longest. Us video and photographers, we're there the longest, right? You know, other than the venue. And even then, sometimes it's two venues. But you have to be able to say, I'm the expert here. I am the soundtrack to your wedding day story. I'm the soundtrack to your day. Let me play a soundtrack that everybody will be appreciative of, everybody will be involved in, because I then, by sound, would create a memory that your photographer and videographer will capture so that you have this moving forward. Let me help you do that, not by a playlist. Let me read the room, a playlist on, first dances or certain special songs. But I think the biggest thing that happens to you guys is when somebody says, oh my gosh, I have an anniversary or birthday. And 75 minutes later, we're still talking to people with a birthday cake and something. It takes away from the experience. But that, however, is very important to that client. But the non-negotiable is you understand going into this that if you have 75 birthday parties, I will only play 30 minutes of music. Non-negotiable. I have the right to read the room.
Right. Frank, what say ye, brother?
Man, well, I mean, first, I just love this conversation. I mean, I absolutely love this conversation. But I think the two things that I really take from this, and I'm gonna spin it to things that my dad told me, and it's two big things, and I live by them. You can only control the you in anything, right? So it doesn't matter what this person will do for you, or what that person will do for you, or what this service or whatever, right? The only piece that you have full control over is the you. And that's why I love the authentic piece. Be authentically you all the time, because that's the one part that you can control. Right. The other thing that I think is really important is, and I tell this all the time in my day job, is respect your platform, right? Yep. And what that means 100%. Is as a wedding DJ or as a private event DJ, whatever, title somebody wants to give me or I give myself, I respect the platform enough to know that if that couple said that they didn't want anything but this, but then I look at them and they are not having fun because this is not working, like I respect my role enough that I'm just going to wing it. Because guess what? They were either going to be unhappy with their choices
or unhappy with yours.
That's be unhappy with my choices, but my choices will probably get people dancing.
Exactly. And sometimes I found that that's an insecurity on DJs or photographers. Guess what? Outwork your insecurities. Show up and be prepared for the follow-up. Outwork your insecurities and show up for the follow-up. And they're not going to remember that wasn't here or what's going on. They'll remember that nobody danced and somebody complained about it. But when you have a packed dance floor, unless you play one of those rogue songs, which I'm so old, I'm like, who the hell sings that song? Or what the heck is that? I mean, I have earplugs that I actually wear now at weddings, but that's what you have to do. Outwork your insecurities. Show up for the follow-up. Because if you outwork your insecurities and then you do exactly what you just said, Frank, the follow-up is going to be, oh my gosh, that was amazing. Your DJ is great. And look what happens. You're the ideal wedding pro for this client because you have all your non-negotiables. You bet on yourself. You believe in yourself. Everything we talked about just rolled up now. And guess what? 2 weeks from now, somebody's calling you to do a wedding that heard you there because you were the right person for that job and you showed up authentically and delivered and you outworked your insecurities all the time.
And the other thing too that is really key is from an event perspective, whether it's a wedding or another event, people will only remember the worst thing if there was a really bad thing that happens. Right. So everybody doesn't go home and say, oh, the DJ was great. The photographer's pictures are probably going to be amazing. All these things are great. But you know what? Maybe the food wasn't good. No, what they're going to say is had an okay time, but the food was horrible.
Right.
They're not going to list all the goods. Right.
Yeah.
If they even say that,
and
maybe
damn
just,
rubber chicken. That damn rubber chicken.
Right. That's so dry. Yeah, but I mean, so that's the thing, right? Like, I never want to be that thing. I never want to be that. And so if I have to go out on a limb and send everybody home happy, and the bride hits me up the next day with an email that's, you know, we appreciate you getting everybody out on the dance floor. We still really wanted to hear a little bit more of, you know, that's, I mean, it's not fine, but at the same time, it's like, I respect my platform.
Right.
I have to make sure you had a good time. You would have been way more disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
I've had one bride walk up to me and said, "I'm sorry, I don't know why everybody danced." And that was the wedding that I realized, you know what? If the playlist they gave me isn't working and they were determined to have me stick to it, I need to do two things better. They're not my ideal client, first of all, and I need to make sure that that's clear. But number two, I'm just going to have to suck it up and take the hit. Right. And I'm going to make sure that people had a good time, because I'd rather the bride be a little discouraged that I didn't get all of her emo songs in, right? Versus, oh, hey, I'm really sorry that it was people weren't dancing. I don't know why.
Right. And what you want is you want those couples to say to you at the end of the evening, "Oh my gosh, you're exactly what we expected. You're exactly why we hired you. You delivered more. You were even more than we expected. You delivered more." Because when you walk in your purpose authentically, those rewards are what happens at the end of the evening when you leave it all there. You know, my sport analogy, leave it all on the ice, leave it all there. Play, deliver it, give everybody everything that you have. So at the end of the evening, when they hug you, you're sweaty because they've been dancing and you have done your job. And the people said, "I don't want to leave," but you're like, "My non-negotiable says we're done," because the photographer has non-negotiables and we're done. And it's going to cost me $1,000 if I stay. So by the time you get done, you're going to pay for it for an hour, right? So let's party. Let us do what we need to do right now with the music I know how to do, with my purpose. I'm walking in my purpose. You hired me. I'm exactly doing what I'm supposed to do because I am the right ideal wedding pro for you. And that at the end of the night is what everybody wants to come up and get a hug with. Thank you for being exactly who you said you were going to be from the minute we hired you. From the minute we booked you and read your website, all the way through the process, sometimes 2 years for me, all the way through the years, you're exactly who you were then and who you are now. And because of that, we had an absolutely FABBO day. That's what you want your clients to say about you, is that you gave them everything and there was nothing they would change. That is something we should all work for. We can all do our jobs better. We can all take one more shot. We can all play one more song. But when they say, "I couldn't have asked for a better day," you say thank you. And you get in your car and you know you were exactly where you were supposed to be. That was your ideal vendor wedding pro for that couple. And you get ready for the next wedding coming up. And you leave it all there. You don't second guess it. You relish in it. You take it home for the weekend. You thank your family for letting you go out and do what you need to do so that you had your purpose and then you're profitable. And then you start back on Monday doing it again. And you'll never struggle for clients if you continue to not chase the money, show up every single day authentically, betting in yourself and dreaming and knowing that you are exactly what you're supposed to be doing. And your clients will do that for you if you present yourself that way to them from day one.
What a show. What an amazing show.
Bobbi, all I can say is thank you for being on.
Oh, thank you guys.
The fantastic conversation we've had. I feel inspired. I mean, yeah, I know you mentioned earlier, you know, if I inspire one person, well, you inspired me. So here we are. So
I have a very, very strong inclination that you're definitely not the only one.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I talk to Bobbi usually once a day at some point, and I feel inspired every single time I talk to her.
Yeah, me too. Absolutely. Nick, tell everybody how they can continue to follow our journey here with Wedding Business Growth.
Yes. Well, you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, all the fun social media sites. Also, if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, that helps a lot. You'll get updates when these recorded videos go actually up on our YouTube channel. So if you missed anything, you can go back and watch it. Feel free to subscribe. You know, it means a lot to us, and join the community and get connected. Also, Clubhouse. We have our the Clubhouse pregame show that we like to get on there. I know y'all were on there holding it down earlier. Yep. I definitely want to be on Clubhouse more for sure. After this conversation, you can find Bobbi on Clubhouse. Frank's always on Clubhouse, and David as well. And me going forward more in the future after this conversation for sure, because Clubhouse seems to be the place to be right now. So
Well, we have our own we have our own little posse of people that we just keep going for here. That, but as Bobbi would make sure that I say, and I firmly agree with, there's plenty of room for more. Right. We love everybody. We include everybody. We don't shame anybody for anything at all. It's a place of growth. It's a place of love. It's a place of how can we help you? And I love that.
And we're open to take those suggestions. Henry's made it very easy. He's one of the only clubs that has a feedback form. If you don't like something that we're doing or don't disagree, fill out the form. We may not be able to write it or change it or fix it, but we can listen. And that's all we have to do. And that's exactly the last thing I'll say to all your listeners. And I really want them to hear this is command this moment right now. Command where you're sitting right now and then get out of your way. Let all the FABBO come. Command this moment, own it, embrace it right now on 3/30/21. Command it, own it, embrace it, and then get out of your way and go forth and be the most FABBO being you can be, authentically showing up. And you will be blessing wedding couples from now until whenever you don't want to, because you're showing up authentically. Command this and get out of your way. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, Bobbi. Thank you. A million thank yous for joining us tonight. And I knew this was going to be an amazing show, and it completely even exceeded those expectations, even though I knew it was going to be a great show. So thank you very much. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We appreciate you all supporting mine and Nick and now Frank on board with us. Our journey together, all three of us have been working really hard to continue to keep bringing you our audience. Some amazing people to join us and just share their love and their passion about the industry. So with that said, we want to say goodnight. We want to say thank you. And we will see you again next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come on back and see us. Have a great day, guys.
Take care.
Bye-bye.